to Ukraine, believe and pray.
So we're going to highlight 7 Ukrainian companies. We're going to start with Sigma. So you already met Valery a little bit earlier today. He's a co-founder of Sigma Software, a major IT services company with 7 offices across Europe and US with a staff of over 450. In 2011, Valery headed the working group under the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, aimed at strengthening cooperation between universities and the IT industry. Valery holds an engineering degree from the National Aerospace University in Kharkiv, Ukraine, and he's going to tell you a little bit about Sigma. Stage is yours.
Thank you. Today we're speaking a lot about IT, and actually we at Sigma Software are the global company working in approximately 10 countries and have the client from more than 10 countries. And I wanted to speak a little bit about challenges that we have, specifically about mentality challenges, so that you could understand people from all over the world have different, different characters, different mentalities, different approaches for many things. And I just wanted to point out several countries, not all of them. It's United States of America, of course, Ukraine. I would like to start with Ukraine, just to show our vision of Ukraine. Also Switzerland, Sweden, and United Arab Emirates, since they cover the globe, and wanted to make some comparison between them. And we start obviously from Ukraine. You can see the nice picture of Kiev. As for Ukraine, do you know the myth that all the deals in Ukraine are concluded after several bottles of vodka? Oh, that's a good point. Whether it's a myth or not. So while we are seeing to this nice picture with Ukrainian specialities, I would say that it's kind of interesting. Actually, it's even not the myth for many other countries in the world. Specifically in Ukraine, we have quite a lot of old Soviet-style management companies in agriculture, in finance, and in oil industry. But also, we started to have more European and US-style management companies. From our experience, you can imagine that you know how tenders are going in Ukraine. Normally, they are not that, normal tenders as you could expect in Europe and the United States. But I can say that I was really shocked that we really have a couple of banks already, for instance, in Ukraine, who are doing really right tenders. So they have a decision process, no bribes, no kickbacks, everything is great. Also, I would like to say that our students, for instance, in IT universities, they're pretty much the same as in United States of America. So we start working really early. For example, Alexei, who is also in this room, who is going to be our managing director of our US office, started to work on the first grade of his university. Normally, people are starting to work like from the 3rd or 4th grades. But I think it's pretty much the same as United States of America, that people start working really, really early. So going to the Switzerland. I had a case when we were in Zurich, and we asked it in the hotel, that we saw the trams going to the airport, and of course a schedule on every tram stop. And we were quite interested whether we could rely on this schedule, that 4 o'clock in the morning we'll have the tram which would lead us to the airport. And we asked the hotel attendant that, well, can we rely on this schedule? And he said after the pause that you're in Switzerland. So that was the reply. Actually, that says pretty much a lot about Swiss guys. And when we started to work with the first Swiss clients, that was quite interesting approach, since we have a really, really long time to review the contract. And if we were making any single change in any place of the contract, he started to review it from the very, very beginning, because he was really afraid that we could squeeze something somewhere. But I think that it's in general the approach of persons from Switzerland to be really, really precise. But once we signed the contract, everything went really, really smoothly. Yeah, that's a famous picture from the internet, which also shows how people from Switzerland love the precision. Then we go next to United Arab Emirates. That's very interesting to work with Middle East. If you, for example, want to go to Dubai for a week, for instance, and to have really a lot of meetings every day, book it for every day to make your trip very efficient, you will fail. That would never happen. Because they are living, relaxed lives. So the first question when you arrive and call someone trying to book the meeting, then they ask you, the first question is always, have you enjoyed the city? So the work is something which you will speak like in a couple of days. You have to enjoy the city first. Also, it's about the meetings. So they could easily change the time for the meeting like 1 hour before the meeting and change it to the next day or the day after. And if you have your ticket scheduled for the day after, then you again failed. So you have to spend like maybe 2 weeks for 2 meetings. It depends, of course, but this is how it works. And another very important point, so they, in their mentality, they think that if you are not patient, even before they get you their money, how patient would you be when you get the money or get the deal? So therefore you have to wait and be a little bit patient. Then we go to Sweden. We know actually about Sweden a lot since we've been working with Sweden since 2006. We established the company in 2002, joined Swedish consultancy group Sigma in 2006, and therefore we could say that we know a lot about Sweden. Is anyone in the room knows? Is anyone in the room is from Sweden? Could you raise your hands? No, that would be interesting. There is an untranslatable expression, fika time, in Sweden, which actually describes the time in the morning when they drink coffee. And if you know which countries are the most coffee drinkers per capita, you would be really interested that Italy is on the 12th place and Brazil is somewhere in the 20th place. And the first places are owned by countries from Scandinavia. And I think that Sweden is on the 6th place or something. So fika time is a kind of time when most of the issues are solved in Sweden. Sometimes with a beer in the night, but if it's something during the daytime, then it's during the coffee, during the fika time. Swedes are also really polite people and very tolerant. And I have put a couple of expressions here which I personally really like. I don't know how it sounds for people who has English as their mother tongue, but very, very not so good is really wrong in English, I know that. But they use this expression to explain the situation when everything is really bad. So that's how they tolerant they are. And partially successful means not done. So, and this is actually very important to understand that, because if you failed something and you had an expression like, well, we think that something going not really right, probably if you're working with a US customer, you won't be so, so afraid of this phrase. But in Sweden, you have to understand that the next phrase will be, we are closing the contract and we won't work with you any longer. That's about Sweden. Yeah, that's one of the cases which might happen. So when everything is failed, then you could have a call with an expression like, we might have an issue. It's very important to understand that everything is very bad at this point. I'm not going to say a lot about the United States of America. We all know how it is. We have like approximately 40% of our business from United States. But I would like to underline that our feeling, working with the different customers all around the globe, that people from the United States of America are the most demanding customers. Nothing can be compromised. Time is money, and it's a very competitive environment. And actually, I think that if software engineers are working for a long time with some European customers, it's a very good idea to push them to American projects so that they feel a little bit, feel in shape in a really competitive environment. Yeah, this what can happen. Everyone knows about that. Sorry for the language. But even if you have a couple of minor defects, then you could have a call, WTF, you have to fix it just immediately, right now. It's kind of a comparison with the picture from Sweden. We might have an issue, but here it's a totally different thing. And now, if you sum up a little bit, I tried to put it in a little bit more positive view, the ease of doing business. So, Ukraine, when you work with software engineers from Ukraine, you know that they always hungry for new technologies, solutions, problem solving. We've discussed this a couple of times today. Switzerland, unbelievable precision in contracts. And everything goes very well when it's signed. We all know the situations when you sign the contract and then someone trying to change something or to squeeze something even after the contract is signed. It's not the case with Switzerland. United Arab Emirates. It's really hard with fixed price project actually, because if you put the price, then nothing can be changed. Even if this is a high price, it's okay, but you can't change it later on. Sweden, very tolerant democracy, entrepreneurship, and USA, I think the quickest decisions and immediate reaction to the problems, to everything. Now I think I'm running out of time, right? And I just wanted to finish my presentation with a couple of successful factors which I personally see in every business, and in the business of service company, in a product company, a startup company, doesn't matter. And these are actually the quotes. The first one, which I have already told you during the previous panel, is that you have to treat customer as a single baby. The second one is the quote from Yoda from Star Wars. It's also not really correct in English, but it's do or not do. There is no try. And the last one is simplicity. As Einstein said, if you can't explain something to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much.